What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and CreateSpace. Link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. PayPal link there also. They asked me to put it up, so I put it up. Thanks for supporting. But this video is entitled Nobody Stands Up for the Majority of Black Men. Man, I almost knocked the mic over. That's why I look like that at the beginning. Now, people talk about black men, but we talk about black men in the minority, not the majority. What do I mean by this? All of these black men who are incarcerated, that's not the majority of black men. The majority of black men aren't in jail or haven't been to jail. And nobody talks for the brothers. Well, what about, look at all of these brothers out here who are not in jail and who've never been to jail, who aren't felons. Oh, see, those guys don't exist, even though they're the majority of black men. But nobody says anything about that. Black men are the personification of the 80-20 rule. You ignore 80% of the black men for 20% of the black men. And you deem those 20% of the black men as the 80% of black men. Ridiculous. Now, black men are running out here just having babies, just getting women pregnant. That's not the majority of black men. But nobody wants to say that. Because if 40% of black men don't have children, 40 to 45, something like that, and then you got the black men who are married. Then you got the black men who may have one kid. Or take this back. Who might have a child or multiple children with the same person. So the vast majority of black men aren't just making multiple babies with multiple people. But nobody says that part, right? People come up with these, oh, look at the black on black crime and the black people murder. Look how many people were murdered last year. Okay. Look it up. Is that anywhere close to the majority population? No, it's not. Nobody's speaking up about that, right? All these black men who ain't got it together. The vast majority of America doesn't have it together, for one. But if the vast majority of black men collectively still have a higher net worth than the black women. So what would that mean? And these black men are normally in some ways doing something for black women. So you're getting something for dealing with these guys. They still wind up making more money than you, even though more women go to college and have higher education, quote unquote, than the men. But the men still have less debt. But these brothers ain't got it together. So how did the majority of black men not have it together, but we're still financially, and economically ahead of the women? How? So much so that the women still deal with the men to get free stuff. So I don't understand. The majority, all these black men out here cheating. That's a nice, okay, let me hypothetically do this. If all of these black men are out here cheating, I had to say this again, who are they cheating with? If the majority of black men are cheaters, that means they're cheating with the majority of black women. Because we predominantly deal with each other. But, But the majority of black men, how many of these men that you're talking about, how many black men are in committed relationships? Gotta ask that question. So what's going on? Because ultimately, if the majority of these brothers are cheaters, that would mean the majority of us are in relationships. But that doesn't add up to the other rhetoric that that would mean we're committed. We're in a bunch of relationships. But the majority of black men aren't in relationships. Oh, the majority of black men are interracial daters. No. At the most, 15% of black men date interracially. And what I mean, and here's the crazy part, because when you say interracial, people forget something. Hispanic is lumped in with interracial. Hispanic isn't a race. So the very women that you consider, some of those interracial women, black women who speak Spanish. So different nationality, maybe even different culture. Same racial group though. But the majority of black men aren't talked about. Black men don't like certain complexion of black women. Or black men are color struck. But when you talk to black men, the vast majority of black men aren't color struck. We're more so body struck than color struck. But people forget that. That's an issue. I don't understand why we having a problem with that, but it is what it is. Now, I'm gonna go back to the old school quote. All the good men are either dead, in jail, married, or gay. Dead men don't count for the living. Okay? That's one. Jail is a minority population. Ironically, married is a minority population. And gay is definitely a minority population. Those three things combined don't equal the majority of black men. And being in those four categories don't make a person good. So nobody speaks up for the majority of black men. Nobody speaks up for the majority of brothers who are good Samaritans. Nobody speaks up for the majority of brothers who handle their business and mind their business. Nobody speaks up for the majority of brothers who love black women. Nobody speaks up for the majority of brothers who are law-abiding citizens. Nobody speaks up for the majority of brothers who actually take care of their kids and who love their kids. Nobody actually speaks up for the brothers who go to college or get higher educations or trades or are in the military. That's the majority population of black men. Nobody says, who's the biggest population in trades? Black men. Nobody talks about that. You get what I'm saying? Nobody talks about the majority of black men not being really in debt like that. But the majority of black men are Pookie and Ray Ray, are locked up, are incompetent. But that's not true. The majority of black men just mind their own business and leave people alone and want to be left alone. You know, the majority of black men aren't abusive. The majority of black men aren't criminal minded. It's not an anomaly. You might not be attracted to people in this majority, but it's the majority. So that's all I'm saying. Like, share, subscribe. I'm done with this one. Catch you on the next one. Peace.